Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Game Master preparation. This is a work day. We're going to make a lot of non-player characters today. For those of you who have been hanging out for this and waiting for this to roll back round, yes, it has. And for one particular individual who has requested that we make a lot of non-player characters for a very specific location, Jasper, it's going to happen today. Today is the day for that, okay? I have every intentions of going over that, and we're going to do a slideshow, okay? I'm going to cover the basics, and then we're going to get right into the process of actually building and making those NPCs, and we're going to do that fast, okay? Quite quickly. We'll be using the 3-sentence structure for your NPCs, but I will still go over the basics in terms of how you make an NPC or non-player character. Anyway, grab some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable. There is a poll up. Feel free to take part in that poll, and we're going to get started, okay? We've got a lot to cover. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about tabletop role-playing games, and this is all about non-player characters. For those of you who wanted to get into non-player characters, this is not about the Game of Thrones, for those of you who are wondering. No, this is Game Master preparation for building and creating and making your own non-player characters. This is lesson 2, and for today we'll be covering the following. How to create quick non-player characters. We'll do that. Building a non-player character. Making the non-player character names. Creating the motivations for that NPC. We'll be doing the developing all of the aspects of your non-player character. Selecting or creating the appearance for your non-player character. Constructing the non-player character stat block, and some miscellaneous recommendations like I always do. I'm going to explain how to build non-player characters. I'm going to demonstrate that process, and I'm going to get you to participate today as well. And we're going to do not just one, we're going to do many. So the first thing we need to cover is how do you actually go about making really quick non-player characters? How does that look? The easiest way to craft or create a quick non-player character is to get someone else to make it for you. Or make it in advance, get somebody else to actually make that for you and just port over whatever you can find. Now, the Game Master's book of non-player characters has hundreds of pages full of ready-made non-player characters that to a large extent are system agnostic. You could use them in Dungeons and Dragons, you could use them in Pathfinder, you could use them in Shadowdark, you could use them in anything you really wanted. It wouldn't be a problem. There's also the Pathfinder NPC Codex full of pre-made non-player characters. Now, it has stat blocks in it as well, and they are designed for Pathfinder First Ed Edition. But there's some other information there. A lot of the narrative aspect of the non-player character, which you could also use. Really quite helpful. The other thing I'm going to point you towards is any kind of published adventure has heaps of non-player characters that you can steal, borrow, okay, or port over or modify and change. The internet is full of non-player character generators or NPC generators that make a non-player character with just the push of a button in seconds. And I'm going to point you in the direction of the NPC generator. It does this very quickly. You have some control over it, not a lot, but a little bit. And then you also have the Game Master's book of random encounters, which has a percentile table for generating randomly NPCs. Okay, that's 100 different options covering all sorts of different things, not just name, but a lot of other things as well. Both of those books are very good for that particular part of it. Okay, now we have to talk about building the non-player character, because it's all very well getting them fast and quick from somewhere, but we actually have to build those non-player characters. And you're going to have probably quite a lot to build at some point. Whether you do them now or later, it's going to have to happen. So let's start off with the non-player character name. Probably the biggest aspect, the most important aspect. Non-player character names are very important because it's the first thing that your players will tend to interact with. And you can get a lot of non-player character names generated by using an electronic generator. Like the website Fantasy Name Generator, I think is probably the best resource out there. It covers not just fantasy names, but also real world names. So you have a lot of variety. There is Donjon, the website. It has a fantasy name generator. That's Donjon. You have Master the Dungeon website, which has a name generator under the Resources tab. You have Makers Forge Games website, which has a name generator as well in the Generators section. There's nothing wrong with actually just using standard names that you know of, or even exotic names of people that you have met or you know of in some way. You can use that. It's not difficult to make a list of non-player characters and their names, because it's not wasted time. You could reuse these. If you don't use them now, you'll use them later. Using the sample names offered in a tabletop role-playing game handbook, quite often under the races section or the species section, you'll find there's a list of suggested names in there, okay, particularly for D&D. Popular culture names from books and comics and movies. You can use Sly Flourish's random name generator list. It's in his article on his on the internet and his on his website. It's not a generator, it's just a list of names. It's a good example of what you probably should be doing yourself, okay? Next, motivations. If we want to go the next step over, we're going to deal with the motivation, what the NPC wants in the world or wants to achieve. Now, the motivation of a non-player character is vital for portraying and interacting with the player characters. So you need something like this. It doesn't need to be complicated. So pull a simple motivation from real world, and if it fits what you're trying to do with your non-player character, then do that. Motivation tables for villains and non-player characters can also be found in most Game Master guides or Dungeon Master guides for just about every single tabletop role-playing game there is. The Game Master's book of random encounters has a bunch of these things, literally listing out objectives and motivations. Also, the Game Master's book of non-player characters has a bunch of random tables that give you the wants and needs of the non-player characters, which is essentially the motivation, okay? And also you'll find that the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide has a list of non-player character goals, and that's on page 94. That's quite useful. That'll all get you what you need in terms of a motivation. Motivations may include secrets, but they don't have to. They are just another aspect of the motivation. Next, non-player character aspects. What sort of things are we talking about? We're talking about the depth of your non-player character. You don't always have to do this. There's probably only one out of all of this aspect, this part of it, in terms of the non-player character aspects, there's only one thing that's kind of vital that you have to do every single time. And that is creating a function or an occupation in the world. Like what is their function in the world or the adventure you're running, okay? An occupation, maybe they're a dentist, maybe they're a doctor, maybe they are a storekeeper, whatever it might be. But you also want a personality trait. Now, you can have more than one personality trait, but I would recommend that it's hard to role play an NPC with more than one personality trait, so stick to one. Those are the things that you really need. Now, you can also include things like ideals and bonds and flaws and sometimes secrets, but you don't have to. I would stick with personality trait and what their function is or occupation is in the world. That's really what you want. If you go to the D&D Speak website, there's a bunch of random tables for selecting or generating up to 100 different personality traits, villainous character traits, non-player character jobs, and other aspects to the NPC. So very useful resource. The Spontaneous Dungeon Master Companion on the Dungeon Masters Guild website has also got a few things that you can use. Again, back to the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters, page 239 to 244. There's a good 5 pages. It just covers non-player character, secrets and obstacles, things you might want to include into an NPC. And I'm going to keep coming back to these books because they're such good resources. The Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters, okay, random tables up the kaboo, scattered all through the whole thing, dealing with secrets, obstacles, and other details around your character. It's a very easy way to develop a non-player character, and the aspects is to actually cheat. So how do you cheat? One of the great aspects I find of the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5e is the background section. Why? Because even though that book is designed and the backgrounds are designed for the players to use, a dungeon master can use them to create non-player characters. You use the backgrounds. You select what fits for the NPC that you want to make. And you can randomly roll or select from the personality traits that are listed, the ideals, the bonds, the flaws presented on those tables. It's really, really easy. It's a very good way of getting the job done. You can also roll up to 1 to 6 different Rory story cubes. These are cubes that have little pictures on them that help inspire ideas about the non-player character, and you can roll them for very specific things like what's their occupation, what's their personality trait, and you use the pictures on the cubes to give you an idea of where to go with that. And I'm going to also refer you back again to the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide on page 94 to 99. Has a huge list of non-player character rewards, things that you could find that they might give out, secrets for NPCs, occupations. There's a good 100 there, personality characteristics, and even their background. So there's a bit of information around them. So not just a single word. Quite useful. Okay. Probably the next thing you're going to find, and it's always a good idea to include something like this because your players are going to need this information, and that is what the non-player character looks like, what their appearance is. Now, using the picture is probably the smartest way, but sometimes you can't. Okay, what a non-player character looks like can help define at surface level what their character is. And it's not vital, but it's really useful. If you don't have time to find a picture for your non-player character, then create one important physical characteristic that will make them stand out and write it down. Okay, that's the thing you want to focus on. It doesn't need to be just they are a dwarf, they are an elf. You can go a little bit further than that. That will certainly help, but you can extend it. The D&D Speak website also has random tables for selecting and generating up to 100 different physical traits for a non-player character. If you needed tools, it's there. If you have access to the internet, you will find hundreds of non-player character portraits on Pinterest, but this is a kind of a trap. It will suck away all your time. I don't recommend doing this unless you have plenty of time to muck around with. It is usually smarter to start with the image if you're going to use a picture and build the NPC to the picture that you have selected. Okay. You can also use things like Pathfinder and similar role-playing game decks of face cards. You can even make your own face cards if you wanted to. They're very useful. So what you do is you have an NPC portrait, and don't worry about finding the perfect card or picture to fit your NPC. Take the card and build the NPC to the card or the portrait that you have. You can draw the picture of the NPC if you're very good at it. If you feel that's an option for you, if you feel confident in your drawing skills, then go for it. There's also Mid-Journey artificial intelligence software and other software servers that will allow you to take a few text prompts to create your NPC. You will get a few strange results sometimes, a few extra fingers, maybe an extra eye, but it is a tool out there if you wanted to use it. Another thing that a lot of people tend to use nowadays is Hero Forge, the miniatures customization website. You're not trying to make a miniature. What you do is you build your miniature. This takes a lot of time though, but it's a good way if you want to have total control. You can go in there, make the character that you want, and then screen capture the image, and now you have an image of that character. It'll look very sort of digital, but that's part and parcel of using that particular website. So that's another way of getting around that if you wanted to. Next, non-player character stat blocks. How do we go getting them made? Like, where can I go to get them done fast? There's actually nothing quick about making or building a non-player character stat block for combat. So don't even bother thinking you can do it quickly. It's not going to happen. But almost every single role-playing game out there has creatures and monster books with generic stat blocks for commoners and other combat NPCs. So if you want the non-combat NPC, it's there, but you also have the combat NPCs as well. Okay, so if you're going to have to put them to battle, and the only reason to have a stat block for an NPC is if they're going into battle. Really, you don't even need to use a commoner stat block. It's really not that important. Pathfinder, the NPC Codex, is full of pre-made NPC stat blocks for characters, and they are built specifically for Pathfinder First Ed Edition. If you go to Dole's House website, which is DHOLE, House, you'll find a huge library full of free Call of Cthulhu non-player characters. You don't have to make anything. You can just go through it there and just grab what you need. The Don John website has a non-player character generator that also creates stat blocks for different game systems. So that's DONJON. Okay. You can go and use the Monster Manual for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, or even pretty much any Monster Manual will tend to have a lot of the stuff in here anyway. It has a bunch of general combatant stat blocks for NPCs, plus in the back, plus the non-combatant one. You'll find that the Dungeons & Dragons 5e sidekicks rules have medium difficulty stat blocks in terms of complexity. You'll find the rules for that in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, but also in the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials kit, and you can probably also still get it off Unearthed Arcana for free. It won't be complete, it will still be in transition, but it's certainly a starting point, particularly if you don't have to go particularly high in level. If you only need a couple of levels, it won't matter. If you want a more complex stat block for your Dungeons & Dragons 5e non-player character, try the website RPG Tinker. Okay, and then I'm going to point you in another direction, and that is, there's a place for ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT can make stat blocks for different systems, but the system it understands the most, well, supposedly, is Dungeons & Dragons 5e. But you can use it for other systems as well. You just need to port in the right information. Remember, ChatGPT scrapes the internet, so if anything has been put out there for free and it's on the internet, then it will use that as a model for building whatever it makes. Okay, so there's another way of getting it done if you need those stat blocks and you need to get them done. Okay, miscellaneous recommendations to people. A combination of all the methods and techniques that I have talked about will help if you are struggling with making your non-player characters. Okay, don't just use one method, use many. If you don't get to use the non-player character, then save it for another time. That's fine. It's possible that the players will have their character kill your non-player character that you spent time building. If you created this NPC and then suddenly they just kill them and take their stuff. If they never had a chance to get their name off, or you have even a chance to describe what they look like, then just repurpose them and use them later on. Okay, the investment is not lost. Okay, but also don't invest a lot of time in making your non-player characters, particularly for the first encounter. For the first time they meet the player characters, you don't know what their first reaction might be. So sometimes it's better to build less rather than more. You can do more later if they like that NPC. If they keep liking that NPC, then you can build more onto it. I think a lot of times people forget that they don't have to do everything all at once. You can actually do it in a staggered manner. I'm hoping this was useful and helpful to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank you for watching and listening. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon and my subscribers who have been watching my stuff. I know I do a lot of live streaming. And look, all the best with your NPCs. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we've got to do a lot of work today. And we will. We will be doing a lot of work. I'm just going to make sure that I get through the chat very quickly. If there's any questions that need to be answered, I'll deal with that. And then we're going to get into, we've got quite a few NPCs that we have to make. And we're doing this for a castle. It's a castle location that the player characters have, I guess, essentially acquired or are using as a home base. I did this a little while back as part of adventure building, and we never really finished all the NPCs that were there. And I didn't want to release it the way it was, and so Jasper, who is in chat, said, Fred, could you please finish that off? Can we actually get it done? So Jasper, today is the day. Now, there is the 3-word description, okay, but there's also the 3-sentence description for an NPC. We're going to go with a 3 sentence description. I think that's going to be easier for people to deal with. I'm going to show you that structure in the chat in a second. Hello, Ravenlaw, how are you? You've never used it? Well, we're going to use it today. You're in and out tonight? Lots of stuff going on? No problems, I understand. That is a good series. I have that one. Okay, all right. I'm quite partial to the one I just posted. Okay, I don't know which one you posted. I'm not sure. Now, there is also, as Fred Huber has pointed out, there's a 3-word descriptor to creating NPCs too that you can use. But I think that's maybe just a bit too trimmed down, so we're not going to use that one for today, but I know of it. The Dungeon Minister, hello, how are you? Hello, Dungeon Minister. You know, I should have invited you to the Back Me game we're playing this coming Thursday in North America, Friday for me in New Zealand. Yeah, I still haven't gotten around. I guess I gotten busy. I gotten tired, but also gotten busy. We were playing through Castle Misdemeanor, and Wally DM is our Dungeon Master. The only NPC that I will need a deep backstory is the one that your players will focus on. Exactly. Yeah, don't bother developing too much on the rest of them. Exactly. So, Rory Story Cubes, really good. There's a great way of making your stuff come together, Jean. It's absolutely one of my favourite ways to do it. But you don't have to do it that way. Okay, stat blocks are definitely time consuming. Okay, Oscar, let's get into the business of doing this, because I have a structure for our sentence. Okay, so I've structured it so you can see what it will look like. I'm going to put it into chat, and then we're going to do it. And then I'm going to give you some NPC names. We've got the beginning of names, but not much else. So I need to give you a little bit of information, don't I? I also need to show you what we have, which I'm going to do as well. So name, race, appearance. We should be able to get away with having a first name, second, the last name. The race of our character will probably help us a lot, or even if it's male or female, and an appearance. So something, do they have a big bushy mustache, or a long white beard, or are they wearing thick glasses, or something that makes them stand out? What are they doing is really to differentiate that in the castle they'll have a purpose, and they're probably doing something right now. And then their adventure motivation. That's it. That's what we're dealing with. Okay? So here is my format. First sentence, name, race, appearance. Second sentence, what are they doing? Last sentence for how we structure them, adventure motivation and hook. Okay. So, hello, Pale Rider, how are you? I'm going to grab your sentence because you've given me part of what's going on here, but I'm going to have to trim some of it down. Of course, the Dungeon Minister is a stand-up guy. Of course he is. Okay, let's take your idea, and we're going to drop it into here. I'm going to ditch all of my crutches. So all of the crutches that I would normally rely on, I'm going to ditch that, and instead we're going to go with the non-crutch approach. It's going to sound strange, I know, but it's all right. Okay, so let me show you the document we're working with, and I'll start throwing some NPCs your way so you can start figuring out how to do this. Does that make sense? Okay, all right, let's do that. And the hat comes off, people, because we're into work mode. Okay, and my brain needs to be working. The hat is not helping right now, and it's actually quite warm today. It's strange. We're into winter here in New Zealand. It doesn't feel that wintry right now. Anyway. Castle adventure. As I said before, this castle is intended to be the player's home base, stronghold, or a returning point. So there are no wandering monsters in this castle. And there are no fucking spies. Don't stick a spy in here and screw with them. Okay? If you want to do that to your own game, that's fine. But don't stick a spy in here. That's not going to help them in the slightest. So we have a guardhouse. We have a sergeant called Gartner Claymore. So I'm going to highlight that name. We've got to build out Gartner Claymore. Now Gartner Claymore is obviously the gate sergeant, so we know who he is. We got a name, a full name. So we still need to attempt, what does he look like, and what is his motivation? Okay, so it's not complicated, this one. This is actually going to be pretty easy. Next, we have a bunch of guards in the castle tower, which is area 2, and their names are Enoch Willow Run, Eric Hoover, and Sky Everdale. Okay, so we're going to highlight these names, and we haven't got anything other than their names, so we've got to do quite a bit more work with them. Yep. Next one, we have the mess hall, and in the mess hall there's a dwarven cook called Amber Scotch. Okay, so Amber Scotch, well, we know they're dwarven, we know they're a cook. What are they doing right now? What are their motivations? We also have some gnome, so we've already got part of the information we need. Gnome servers, and their first names are here, but we have nothing else to work with. So we're going to actually have to do that as well. Okay. The greenhouse, has got Hubert Greenleaf as the garden master. So we know what his name is. We don't know what he looks like. We haven't determined his race. And we haven't determined his motivations. So this is another character we're going to build today. The soldiers' barracks. Okay, we have Jasper Wilder. So we have a first name and surname. We know that they are the captain of the guard. Okay, so that will help with our motivation. We have Boris Nobles, who is a guard. Okay, so we're going to have to build that character as well. You can see there's quite a few here, people. Rodney is the horse master in the stables, but that's just the first name. We don't have the full name. So we're going to build out Rodney as well. And we keep going, down, down, down. Next we get to the forge. And there's a smithy here, and I believe we have the blacksmith is Owen. We just got a first name. We've got some information around what he looks like. Okay. So we've got Owen. Sorry, let me just do this. This is not helping me very much. Okay, Owen. So we've got a first name, Owen. He's a balding man. He's got a scar. Okay. He's the main smithy. And then we have Patches, who is a half-orc apprentice. That's just the first name. Now, maybe the first name will be enough. Okay, so that character. The servant quarters has got Lispy Laura. I think Lispy Laura is really a nickname. Laura Lispy, I think, is going to make him up much more sense. So we're going to reverse this. So go cut, paste, Laura Lispy, and Ratcatcher is another character as well. So we've probably going to find that Ratcatcher won't need a surname, but there needs to be a bit more going on with Ratcatcher. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of NPCs in here. I'm highlighting them all. We're going to come back to them all. We've got Lemmy. That's just the first name. We don't have the surname, and we don't have anything other than they are the lamplighter. That's their occupation. But we don't know what they look like. Okay, we don't know what race they are. We don't know what they're specifically doing right now. Yep. The ballroom. We have the theatre mistress, and this is Abigail Hippolyte, I believe. Abigail Hippolyte. So we have a little bit of information, but that's all. Next, we're going to go down to Frigid Frosty, which is Sister Frigid Frosty. Sister Frigid. I think this is Freya. I think Frigid can go. I think that's that name's just a little bit too on the nose. So we're going to go with here, Sister Freya Frosty. There you go. If you want to have an alliteration, we've got alliteration. Headmistress of the nunnery. Okay, so we've got that. So we're going to line her up. She's going to have to be worked on. We're going to do a few things with that one. The priest, Pomposit Regalis. I think we're going to reverse that name. Oh, geez, no, cancel. Okay, try that again. Cut. Paste. Regalius pomposite. I don't know that I like that name very much, but we'll highlight it, and we just got to remember we've got to do something with him, because we know he's a priest, but that's all we really know. Okay, keep him going. Now we have a knight here who has a very complicated name. So I'm going to just highlight this name here, which I can't really pronounce other than Blunderbuss. Geo Blunderbuss. Okay, so this character, and then next, moving through, head cook is called Squab, but Squab has got no other name, so this is a nickname probably. Betty Buns is the head baker. Now, Buns, I think that's probably getting a little bit too silly, but you guys came up with these names. Dean Jimmy. Jimmy Dean. I feel like Jimmy Dean is going to sound a little bit better. Dean Jimmy. We'll just let's go with. I don't know that Jimmy Dean even makes any sense, but let's go here and do this and just switch around. Jimmy Dean might be a bit better, or we give it a better surname. Might be a smarter idea. Remember, when it comes to surnames, often you would work in the same field as your family. So there would be a name. So for example, if your surname was Smith, the chances are your family's background was working in a blacksmith. If your surname was Cartwright, the chances are that your family and you work on wagons and cartwheels. Does that make sense? So yeah. Just something to bear in mind, but we don't have to do it that way necessarily, but that might help a little bit just to make it all sort of feel like it's working. The dovecot, we have Annie. We just have the handler Annie. There's no other name, no other information about Annie. Okay. Next we have Rasputin, Rastaban, Groskin, Grand Wizard. So we know he's a Grand Wizard, but that's all we know about Rastaban. Okay, so we need a little bit more information on him. The jailer is Redar. Now Redar has just got Redar. There's nothing else there. Would be helpful to have a bit more information on Redar. Going down the list here, we've got lots of stuff going on, but that's the only NPC that we need to deal with. Oh, Willie, the one-toed. The jailer. We've got the executioner and we've got Willie. But Willie doesn't have any other information around him. Okay. Almost there. I know there's a lot of NPCs, people. I told you they're going to be doing quite a few today. All right, there are 4 guard towers. Okay, but we have King Puffinchest. Fitzgerald Puffinchest is a terrible name. So feel better, feel free to change that. Queen Buttercup is a piss take off, as we know, the Princess Bride. Is it Princess Bride? I think it is. God, I hope it is. I hope I got my movies right. Anyway, so we've got a bunch of NPCs. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to work our way through each NPC, and I'm going to start writing out, and you're going to start writing out the information that we require for them. That's the goal for today. And then I will take that information, put it into this document, and finally be in a position to finish it off and put it up onto Patreon. And at the same time, we'll show you how to make very fast, quick NPCs that will actually do what you need them to do. Because that's really the trick about this. If you're going to do this, you need to be able to do it fast, you need to do it quick. There are a couple of resources in front of me that I'm just going to open up. But I'm kind of curious as to what people are saying in chat. It's probably gotten out of control. We've got all sorts of things written in there right now. But we'll see how we go. Willie Winker. It's not going to happen. Forget it. Fridarco Hubris. Yeah. Hello, Steve. How are you? Hello, Derp. Jimmy Dean is also a sausage name. It is, yeah, it does feel like a bit of a sausage name. Yeah. So let's have a look here. I see we have all sorts of comments going in here. And I'm kind of curious as to... Okay, so Madeleine, priest of Aura. Okay, so you've his boss. So Steve has already entered in an NPC. You guys, all right. So I'll take down your NPCs now. I'll mark it here, and then we are going to work through the ones that we've got here because these are the ones that you made a little while back. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is definitely better than that one, but I'm not saying it. But it ain't that much better. Let's get real. Okay. All right, so let's take this one, and I will drop in your suggestions for NPCs here. But what we're going to try to do is build on what we have. Okay, I've given you a bunch of different names. I'm going to present them as we go, and we'll build each one as we go. Okay, so next. What else have we got here? Nancy. Nancy's got one name, so we don't have a animal handle for the chickens. Okay, all right. So, Kabaya Felgren Hand. Oh God, I hate that name so much. A Midland priest of Owen. Yeah, you've lost me almost completely with that, and that whole thing lost me completely. Okay, Nancy Halfling, elderly woman with leathery face. Good. So you've nailed down the first sentence. Animal handler, cows and chickens. So what is she doing right now? I mean, that's what she does, but what is she doing right now? She now the movement of the guards. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure. That was supposed to be the motivation, right? She's something now, the movement of the guards. Steve. We're not doing that. The castle used to be the hideout for a cult led by the ancestor. Forget about that. Forget about that. We're not doing story. We're doing NPCs. That's why it says crafting non-player characters. We're not doing story today. Okay? So I don't know where you're going with this. Hello, Ryan Andrews. How are you? Have you ever used ChatGPT for games? I created an entire village with NPCs, quests, shops, and more. Even made a map just chatting back and forth with it. With Git, yeah. No, I haven't, and I wouldn't probably do that. There is a better way of doing that. So, for example, if you really want to build out everything, what's it called? If you want to build out all the things that you need, and you just want a whole location with adventures and so forth, there's an easy way to make that happen. Okay, and it's in beta. It is a pretty useful tool, in my opinion. And this is the link to it. It's called Hexroll. And if you really wanted to do it that way, you could. But yeah, ChatGPT is probably way too much time. A lot of fluffing around doing it that way. My mum's named me Enoch. I've run away. Dear. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of NPCs being thrown my way. Pale Rider. Let's see what Pale Rider's put together. I see that Brad is Pitto. Oh my gosh. This is going to be one of those days where it's going to get out of hand. I can see it right now. Okay, so let's see if I can catch up with what we've got here. So we've got Shay Wisp Silk, a female half elf with a keen body. Oh God, okay. I think you mean athletic body. Athletic body, sharp features and pinched black and pinched black hair. I don't know what pinched black hair. Pitch black here, not pinched. Pitch. She poses as a servant to the lord of the castle, but is actually a royal guard. Okay, so that's not a spy. She is just in the servants area. Okay, so I see what you're going with here. The only thing we're missing is, what is she doing right now? That would be the only thing we're missing from that statement, what is she doing right now. But other than that, you've got the first sentence, you've got your motivation. Okay, I'm assuming that's part of what the motivation is. Bradas Pato, we're going to leave Bradas Pato alone. My name is Lenny and I got plenty. If it ain't got... okay, all right. Oscar's put forward a suggestion here. Okay, let me just... am I even going to get to these NPCs that you guys created? This is going to be an interesting process. All right, let's have a look. Tana, you've only got the first name, not the surname. Tana Goblin, bubbly young woman with pink bandana, servant, waitress in the mess hall, prepares drinks in the mess hall. So that's what she's doing right now. She aspires to become an adventurer like the castle owners. So you have nailed down pretty much everything other than the surname, Oscar. That's exactly what we're looking at. 11 is a cool character. Just watched House of Wax and Revenge of Frankenstein 2. Okay. I don't know what... Oh, is this the name it's supposed to be? Did I get it wrong? I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Give me a second. I'm trucking stuff in. I thought I would be just pulling up and working my way through typing stuff out, but you guys are throwing stuff at me very, very fast. I did say practice, right? Didn't I? I should have been more careful. Change my character name to Annie in 15. Oh, okay. So Oscar, Annie, 15, Dovecot. Okay, let me see. Is 15 the Dovecot? Annie. Oh, okay. I get the joke. I get the joke now. Okay, it took me a little while, but I got there. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Oh, Oscar, it's Annie Gross. Thank you. Annie Gross has now got a surname. Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. Working with Pooh, it's very appropriate. Yeah, the names are getting very, very silly. Okay, so Willie One Toe Human. Okay, so we've eliminated his surname, but we've given him One Toe is obviously a nickname, and you've given me quite a bit of information about him as it happens. But we have actually locked down on one of those characters, which is great. I'm happy to see that. Let me just see if I can find Willie. Willie's bound to be here somewhere. I saw him before. Willie, where are you? Why can't I see Willie anywhere? Oh, Tanya. Oh, there we go. This is one of the characters. This is one of the gnome servers that you were building out. Ah, very clever. Okay. All right, where is Willie? I need to drop in Willie. Ah, here we go. Here's Willie. So we've got that. We probably need to take Willie and put Willie down the bottom. Paste. Poof. And we will remove the first sentence, and let's see if we can get Willie into a... I feel like Willie still needs to have some sort of surname. He's a jailer. Let's call him... I don't know. We need a surname for him. Human... We need to break it up into sentences. We can go as a lanky man. We don't need to say that he's human because the man is a human. With a sadistic grin. Okay, so we've actually... With a sadistic grin. Okay, so we've got part of it going on here. Okay, so this is, we'll come back to you. I will highlight that whole section. I know I'm falling behind, so I'm going to jump back over and show you this in a second, people, and then we'll try to work through this. Let's have the castle have generations of older curses on it. No, Steve, we're not doing that. Fred, those are the NPC baddies in my Kickstarter dungeon. I don't know what we're talking about here. Steve, what are we talking about? I don't understand. You asked for names. Oh, don't give me names from a Kickstarter you're working on. That's not the way to go. Sally, Annie, the animal handler, is picking the eggs. Okay, so this is Sally. Sally, Annie. Okay, so this is going over here. Sally, Annie, and I think this is over. No, that's the wrong place. Where's that? It's the Dovecot, isn't it? Oh, and we also have Kenneth, the kennel keeper. There's a lot of alliteration going on here. Anyway, so paste. Let's get rid of Sally. And we'll go gross. And we know that she's an animal handler. So we can get rid of that bit. And we just need to highlight this section. So Annie Gross, the animal handler, is picking the eggs. Okay, so what we've done is we've jumped past what she looks like. We know what she's doing though right now, which is exactly what we had asked for in the second sentence. She knows the guard's movements and has read some messages from messenger pigeons. I don't know where you're leading this. I feel like you're leading this into a spy thing. I don't know what. See, this is information, but it's not. You've got to break down an NPC's motivation into a sentence that makes sense. How is the game master supposed to work with something like that? Maybe you understand it, but from the sentence structure, it's not clear what's going on here with Annie. Does that make sense? All right. Okay. Let's try that again and grab another one before we run out of time. I want to work on these bit by bit. Okay, so let's grab Jasper's character here and see if we can't plug it in. Good Lord. He's here somewhere. Here we go. This is where he should be living. Somewhere like that. This is over at the guest house. And I can't pronounce this name at all. De Blunderbuss, middle-aged, infirmed human. Okay, is it a man or a woman? I'm assuming it's a man. We don't have to say human if they're a man or a woman, because that men and women are human, right? We refer to female if it's like a female dwarf or a female a male dwarf, who is currently money changer for the Temple-like order. The Temple-like order. He has retired to this backward outpost castle and is significantly resentful. Okay, so you've got the last one. You've got your motivation. You've got what he's currently doing, and you've got kind of what he looks like. The only thing is, I think what you mean is infirmed man. I think that's what who is currently the moneylender for a temple-like order. Okay, so we've got a bunch of information. And we've also got a bunch of information we've got to try to carry across from the last post that we had there. So there's a little bit of stuff going on to wade our way through. I'm going to have to condense that down into 3 sentences. But I got what you said. Okay, next, Jasper. For both his injuries and posting desires, respect, so we'll... that's way too much information, and Jasper, you know fully well that to be the case. We have to be able to break it down into something really small. So when you're thinking sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3, You've got to decide what's the important stuff and what can you leave out. Do you know what I mean? And Jasper, you said this very thing to me not so long ago. Lenny is the guy who comes to the castle gate every day selling his wares. He's trying to get into the castle to steal cooking. Lenny. Oh, do we have Lenny? Do we have a Lenny? I think we had a Lenny in here somewhere. I've just got to find Lenny now. Lenny. You got Lenny and it's Lemmy. Oh, okay. But Lenny's fine. Let's change the name to Lenny. I'm all good for that. That's fine. Let's make Lenny rather than Lemmy. I think Lenny makes more sense. He's the lamplighter, right? So you've actually now, how have you written up Lenny? Lenny is the guy that comes to the castle gate every day selling his wares. So you've eliminated what Lenny looks like. We know Lenny's a guy, so that could be any race, could be human, could be something else, but I'm assuming you're thinking human. We don't know what Lenny really looks like. He's trying to get into the castle to steal cooking utensils. So he's a thief. Really what we need to break it down into is what is he trying to do? Remember, he's the lamplighter in the wagon house. So he's the lamplighter and he also runs the wagon house. So this is probably going to be a problem because it doesn't quite fit with the character and its location. Okay? What we would have to do is we'd have to modify a few things. He's a thief. We can do that. A thief who visits the main castle to steal small valuable items. That's all we need to put in there. So there's your motivation. We've got that. You've got down that Lenny is here to sell wares, and that's not going to work. He's the lamplighter. But we still don't have a complete full sentence for what's going on. So let's just get rid of that bit, and we will have to come back and deal with the rest of this, which is we got what he does, but haven't got the rest. Okay, let's keep going. Bojum is a biblical name. Okay, all right. It's Hebrew. Annie Gross. You like Annie Gross? Good. Lenny Philanderer, the best vendor in the realm. Okay, I think we're okay, so that's probably not going to work, Steve. Peria William, Hill William, Castle Bard always. Okay, all right. So you've created a new NPC rather than we're using the ones. I got to get this screen back to here. This is going to be really difficult to make this work otherwise. Hello, Nacho. We're a little bit out of control right now, but I'm trying to catch up with people. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start ignoring the chat in a second and just start working through things and seeing if you guys come up with solutions to things I can't fix. I think that might be the easiest way to deal with this. Oscar's come up with a surname for Willie. Lothar. I don't know what Lothar is supposed to represent, but Lothar. Willie's Lothar. Where is Willie? Did I put Willie in here? I'm sure I did. He's here somewhere amongst all these names. But I'm going to try to keep up. Here we go. Perfect. No, that's not what I want. Still not what I want. Paste. Okay. So we now have a surname for Willie One Toe Lothar. Well done. Nice job. Good. Backstory for Willie One Toe. His toes were chewed off. Forget about backstory. Chewed off by baby direwolves when he was Yeah. The players are never going to get to the backstory, more than likely. Willie's probably not going to be necessarily a huge draw. There's no guarantee that it's going to happen. How about endured? Okay. All right. Let's start again. Let's start Lenny. Okay. 5 o'clock shadow. Something short, stubby guy. Okay, so now you've got Lenny. You've got a bit of a description of Lenny. Short, stubby dude with a 5 o'clock shadow. There we go. We've got a description for what Lenny looks like. Now we're talking. Okay. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to put my phone in front of me so I can see what you guys are typing in, and I'm going to bring up the screen because there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with you guys. It's clear that there's a lot going on today, and I'm not going to keep up with any of this. So that's my solution. I think that's the only solution I have available at present, and we'll work through these things. Sheesh. Paste. Do we have a... Okay, so I think that is there. That's why all these guards would require 3-word structure. No, 3-word structure is all very well, but that's too hard for them to do right now, Jess. But even for me, I might struggle with that. I think it's not going to work. You're having lunch? Good for you. Lenny Philander. No, it's not working. Let's get here in there. Paste. Okay. Okay, so all right. Let's get back to how we're structuring things. And I can see now that if I walk away and take a toilet break, by the time I get back, I'm screwed. So this is what I'm going to do. I don't normally do this. Instead of putting up my I'm taking a break screen, I'm not. We're going to the screen so you can see the actual NPCs. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so I can show more of it. Okay, so you can see the names of various characters. If you're really got a really big screen, you'll be able to see some of the names, and we'll work through those. Okay. And then that will give me the beginning of something. So we're going to work from the top to the bottom and just work our way slowly through the lot. Anyway, give me a sec. Okay. All right. I'm stepping back in. Here we go. And with any luck, the whole stream has not gone completely out of control. I'm not guaranteeing that's not going to happen because that All right. Typo equals read. I'm on the phone, so yeah. So I'm going to now that I'm back, I'm going to actually magnify this. So those of you who can't see, don't worry. But we're going to go step by step, each character one by one for the next hour, and concentrate on just the characters here. We're not making new characters. We're just dealing with the names that we've got there and the NPCs we've got. So that's the task. Okay. We're gonna focus this energy, this creative energy. Here we go. So first of all, we have Ganatur Claymore. I hate this name so much because it's so difficult to say. Claymore, I actually have no issues. Claymore as a surname's fine. But I think let's go with Garrett. Let's go with Garrett Claymore. Much easier to pronounce. So now we need to, based off our process, we need to decide what race they are. Is it a man? Is it a woman? It's probably a man. Is it a dwarf? I mean, we decide what that's going to be, what they look like. I'm going to suggest we can go with something like the following. Eric Hoover, Human Guard. All right, so you've got Eric. You've already picked up Eric, have you? Shucks, I got to run. No problem, Steve. I'll see you later. The quickest pisser in the east. Mate, I am a fast pisser, and I wash my hands. All right, so that's good. That's good. So we're focusing now down on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your stuff straight from chat because it's going to be harder to. So we're going to come back to this, but I can see where you're starting to lead with this, which is great. So let's see. Hopefully I got this right. Yeah, I did. Okay, so Eric Hoover, Human Guard, Disheveled. Okay, so we've got a bit because of debt. Jasper's done a pretty good job of building out Eric Hoover, which is great. So Eric Hoover. Hoover is a disheveled. I don't know what that word is. It's really hard to figure out. Is a disheveled man. Disheveled. Okay, disheveled man. What is he currently doing right now? He's a bad gambler, easily bribed because of debt. Okay. So Eric is a bad gambler, easily bribed because of debt. There's your motivation. We need to have, what is he doing right now? Let's have him he is performing minor maintenance on the ballista's swivel. On the ballista. That's that. That'll do. We don't have to be too specific. So we've got our 3 sentences. Okay. Ballista. On the ballista. Okay. Cool. That's that one done. Nice. So back to here. So Eric is Eric Hoover is sorted out. We can unhighlight Mr. Eric Hoover. Dun dun dun, just like so. Oh. Now, who is Gerobe Groundmed? Gerobe Groundmed. I don't know where you've got Gerobe Groundmed from. Is it in here? Gerobe Groundmed. I don't see it. Have you created a new character? I feel like maybe you have. Gerobe Ground. Oh, no, there he is. There it is. He is one of the gnome servants. Bingo. Found him. All right, now we're talking. Okay, cool. Took me a little while to figure out where you'd got him. So let's just switch over, do a copy and paste, and I'll make some adjustments to that one. Very good. Sloppy. Deceived, sloppy, messed up. Okay, all right. Lazy. Lazy. Oh, you want to make them lazy. Well, that would change everything if that's what we're doing with that character. Okay. Right, so let's do here. Ground mead. Gerobe ground mead. It looks to me like that we're dealing with a male gnome. Is a male gnome with a blue and green eye. Okay, perfect. Full stop. There's our first sentence. Ground meat. Gerobe is checking the meals for poison. Okay. Okay, full stop. That's what he's doing. So we've got our first thing. We've got a name, kind of what they look like, something that makes them stand out. Next, he wants to be a poison taster, specifically the wine. Okay. Specifically the wine. Because he's addicted to alcohol. There we go. So your character is now got a motivation, what they're specifically doing right now. He's checking the meals for meals and drinks. Let's include the drinks as well. And drinks for poison. Okay. And so we've got what he's doing, what he looks like, what's his name. Do we have his full name here, or do we miss it somehow? I think somehow no, we do. It's ground mead. It's just not very obvious. That's the name. Okay, so we've got all that. So that's that one NPC locked down. Well done. Nice job. That was pretty good. And I didn't share it with you while I was doing it, and I apologize. I'm going to have to get better at switching back and forth. So we do actually have 3-sentence structure for Gerobe, who is one of the gnome servants. Well done. Nice. Good job. And next time I'll make sure I'm showing it to you on the chat. In the live stream. Okay, let's do the next one. I see that there's a bunch of different ideas here. Skylark. Looks like Skylark, who is one of the guards. Oh, Claymore's been done as well. Pale Rider's done Claymore, and Jasper's done Sky Evendale. Ooh, okay, you guys are working fast. I like it. Let's deal with Garrett Claymore, and I'm just going to put across your ideas. I might miss some stuff, so you might need to point me back to anywhere. Garrett. Okay, so well, this is Garrett Claymore from Pale Rider. Let's port you across to here. Garnet. Garrett's fine though. We're changing the name a little bit, but that's fine. We're all good. Okay, so this is that character, and we need to make sure we include enough of that character to get it right. Okay. Let's show you what we've got, and I'll start working my way through Garrett and what you've got here. Okay, so here is Garrett. So starting with Garrett Claymore, so it's not Gannets anymore, it's Garrett is a salt and pepper human. Salt and pepper, I don't know what that means. Is a salt and pepper veteran. Okay, veteran is a salt and pepper veteran. Now we've got to be careful that we don't get too much into here, because what we're going to wind up doing is giving away stuff. So veteran here we need to take away. I'm not taking it away completely. I'm putting it somewhere else. Okay. Paste. So Garrett Claymore is a salt and pepper, and I'm not quite sure that's supposed to be. And maybe the salt and pepper thing. Cut. I think what you were referring to is practical. Garrett Claymore is a well, let's go with a middle-aged man with a nasty scar on his the left side of his face. He is currently polishing his sword. Garrett is a Garrett is a veteran practical veteran promoted to Gate Sergeant. Whoopsies, it's not Sergeant. For his loyalty to the kingdom. So we've got a very basic sort of motivation going in here. Okay. With a oily rag. Okay, so we can do a few adjustments here. And I think we can just get rid of that bit. That would be just unnecessary. But we have Garrett. Wonderful. The other four archers, who cares? So that's your three sentence structure. For those of you who are wondering, heck, how do we make it happen? That's how it's going to be. Okay. All right. Cool. Next one. Now I believe that somebody has already selected a character, and we're going to scroll on down and keep looking at the next thing. Gebo is done, so we can unhighlight Gebo. And I believe that a couple of these characters have already been sort of built out, so I just got to find them now. Hello, Dungeon Minister. Salt and pepper. Oh, black hair turned white. Oh, grey. Grey-haired. Salt and pepper. Let's keep it simple then. If that's what we're talking about, let's say just grey-haired. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So Claymore is a middle-aged. So grey-haired man with a nasty scar. Right, cool, wonderful, got it. Just logging back on. Okay, so when it is different. Yes, Mr. Stables. Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, forget about that. We're not going Rodney Dangerfield. I know who Rodney Dangerfield is, and we don't need to go back to Rodney I mean, you know, he had his time. Okay, let's see. Huber Greenleaf, Human Thin, Oscar, the Garden Master. I see what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get this one done. All right, let's just drop that in there somewhere. I'll come back to you. If I can even find it, where he is. Guest house, garden master. Greenhouse. There we go. My. Aren't we busy little folk here? All right. Okay. I'll come back to you. I want to just keep working on the top ones if I can. Now. Sky, copy. Jasper's got Sky organised, and we've got Eric. Hoover was done. Okay. Sky. All right, so let's look at how Sky is going to turn out. Dun, dun, dun. So, Sky Everdale is a... Now, you said female guard, ginger-haired. Everdale is a ginger-haired woman. She's obviously a guard, of course, because we've got her listed as being a guard, so that's not the issue here. Woman. Okay, so we've got that. You didn't say long-haired or short-haired, so let's go with short-haired. Sky Everdale is a short... is a ginger-haired woman with a slender frame. Always looking around for her wandering brain cell. I don't understand what that's supposed to mean. So Sky Sky is going to be doing something right now. Okay, so motivation. So we need to have her doing something right now. This sentence is not really related to what we were trying to achieve, if that makes sense. I'm not skipping it. I'm just trying to see what you've done. God. This is going to be really, really difficult to keep a track of, people. I'm ditching this idea of the wandering brain cell, Jasper. It's going, okay. So we need to deal with what she's doing. Skylark is, I guess it's scanning. Horizon. Oh, I see. Is, so you're trying to do the, oh, I see. Is scanning the horizon and watching the castle activities intently. All right. Okay, so so she's a gossip, really. She's a gossip who talks too freely about the guards' movements to her friends. But not intentionally. I think you're not trying to turn her into a spy, because if you are, I was going to get rid of it anyway. Okay, so I think that's what you're trying to say here. She's a gossip. She's doing something. We know what she looks like. She's a gossip. So that's her motivation, is gossip. And we know she talks about the guards' movements to her friends, but not intentionally. It's not intentional. So it's not something that we would consider an issue. Outside of what would be better if she didn't. Okay, she's not a hidden spanner or saboteur. Okay, cool. Let's see, what else do we have here in our chat? Yep. No, I'm not putting in her wandering brain cell. It's not happening, Jasper. How about Rodney Windrider? I can deal with Rodney Windrider. Windrader I can deal with. Eldar. Are you the horse master? So this is the horse master. Absent-minded. That's the reason for watching her wandering brain cell. No, it's not going in. It is so cliche. It is such the cliche thing. Are you trying to stick your ex-girlfriend in here or something? I can see it now. It's going. You guys hang out too much with me. I know where you guys are going sometimes. I don't know where Rodney is supposed to be. Here. Rodney is over here. So let's take Rodney, since you've spotted Rodney. Windrider is the horse master, yes, but we don't have anything else. We know that. We know this. Is it the horse stable master. So we've got a little bit more information than we had before, but we don't have the rest of it. And since we've jumped over here, we might as well deal with him. So again, I might just come back to this, because I know there's a bunch of other things that you guys have already put in here that I need to try to keep up with. Okay, all right, so back here. Indic Wind Willow Run. Indic Willow Run. I'm sure Indic Willow Run is in here somewhere. I've just got to find Indic Willow Run. I don't know why I'm putting he's when I can just put Eric. It really doesn't matter. We just need to make sure we don't get them mixed up with each other, since they're 3 sentences and there's three cards. Okay, cool. Let's see. So this is where I'm at. I'm going to try to find Willow Run somewhere amongst the things that you guys have put in. I didn't finish off Huber at this present time, but we'll get there. Let's go with, yeah, I want to just keep slowly but surely working our way systematically from the top to the bottom. Okay, all right. Now somebody had said something about Rodney. We've got the next, going back, 3 horses. Honeycutt, Tanya Honeycutt. Missing label her as a goblin way back. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. Oh, is it way back? Honeycutt goblin way back. All right, so let me just grab that and see if I can find where it's supposed to be. Okay, so this is down here. Paste. All right, so we actually have a name for that one, but we don't know. Remember, all of the servers are gnomes, not goblins. Okay, just a quick heads up on that one. All right, keep going. Okay, so Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney almost has birthed the perfect horse after most of his life and will do anything to finish his masterpiece. Okay, so you've given him a motivation, I see. All right, so you've got a description. So let's take our horse master. We've got a description and we've got a motivation. So let's take that and trim that down and put it in. Okay. Cool. Oh, I'm running out of water. I need some more water. Okay. And I probably need to do a little bit of updating, so I've got a marker as to where I'm up to. Some of you, if I've missed something, you might have to copy and paste from the old chat and drop it back in again so it pops up, because I won't be able to go back that far. I will get lost. Anyway, so where's Rodney? Here we go. Let's get Rodney sorted out. And you had your motivation as well. So I'm going to be pretty brutal because those are long sentences, so I'm going to probably strip that back a lot, Oscar. For those of you who are wondering what's going on, I am definitely going to strip back a heap. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what we've got here. Rodney, who is supposedly the horse master. So we've got Rodney, Wind Raider, Eldar. I don't know why have we got Eldar? What's with the Eldar? We don't need to put horse master here, so let's just cut that for now. And paste. So we're going with is a half elf of short stature because of his human half and his, no, forget this, forget that, unnecessary. Remember, we are trying to build, the first sentence has got to tell us who they are and what they look like. That's our first thing we're going to deal with. Okay, so Rodney Wind Rider Eldar is a half elf of short stature, comma, with blonde and with stature. Stature Statue, that's statue. No, that's not right. Statue. Stature with mixed blonde and black hair. Full stop. Okay, that's got us what we needed there. Rodney, the now Horsemaster Rodney the Horsemaster is currently checking horse breed records in the stables. Okay, that's fine. Now, that's our third sentence. What is he doing right now? We've got what he looks like. The last one is his motivation. Almost has the birth. Okay, this is really, really confusing, this last little bit. So this is where we need to figure out how to turn this into something that a game master or dungeon master could understand what they're doing with it. Okay, so really he's trying to create the perfect horse. Rodney's greatest life goal is to breed the perfect horse. That's it. We don't need anything else. Okay, that'll be enough. It's a short sentence. It's to the point. We know exactly what's going on. Okay, so that's Rodney. Well done. We got there. Took a little while, but we got it pulled apart. So there's 3 sentences. Narrows it right down to exactly what we need. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go back and have a look because we're still dealing with these NPCs. And I'll pull out whatever information you currently have in here, and we'll see what we can do. Guys, Jasper, human average. So I need to put a marker in here, otherwise I'm going to get lost. Why have we got the name Jasper coming up? I have no idea. Why have we got Jasper coming up? Can't get any respect. Oh, they've included you in here. Guard in the bedroom. Jasper, human, advanced, strong build. Currently, King. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. We're taking the piss out of Jasper right now. Oh, I see. Cute. Ginger watches the going on absently mindedly, talks without thinking. Yes, there we go, Jasper. See, that there is a lot more trimmed down. Much easier to deal with too. Talks without thinking is a much better way to communicate it. Speaks without thinking. That's a much better way to communicate Sky, frankly. Yeah, I like that much more. It's a gossip who no, we got what we got. But that's certainly the drawdown. All right, let me go back and see if I can find if there's an NPC you guys started working on that I've missed. I believe we might start working on Huber. No, we've got that one. Gerbo, we've done that one. We did Eric, and then we had Howler. Who's Howler? Oh, the Kennel Master. Something named Howler. Why did we have a name Howler going on? I'm a little bit lost here, Oscar. A Kennel Master. Do we have a Kennel Master called Howler? No. Backstory. Leto. I think. All right. I've gone all the way back trying to look for all of the different things that you typed in. Okay, so I think I've caught up. So let's get back to the bringing up the screen so you can see what's going on here. Hello, Kevin Scott. How are you? And let's do that. Cool, blimey. Here we go. Back to this. Back to work. Kennel Master. Somebody had said something about Kennel Master. So where is our Kennel Master? Kennels. No. Oh, Kenneth the Kennel Keeper. Ah, that's what we're talking about here. Now I see. Okay, so paste. McNasty? Why McNasty? Kenneth Howler McNasty. Oh, I see what we're doing with this. Okay. So I'm going to change McNasty to Groom. To give you guys an idea of how what I've just done. I know of a person whose name is Kenneth Groom. It's actually the real name for a person. That's their actual name. And a Kennel Master. Cattle Master, no, Kennel. Kettle Master. Oh, it's not a Kennel Master, you've got him as a Kettle Master. Oh, nice. Okay. Let's take that idea and get rid of the Kettle Master and get the Kennel Master in there. All right. So I've got that one. Okay. Cool. All right, let's deal with another NPC. Let's go back up and deal with one that's nice and close to near the top. I'm sure we had a new Willow Run. Somebody had started writing out a new Willow Run, and I just don't know where it is anymore. Somebody spots it, grab it in the chat and post it again so I can see it. Okay, so let's do Huber Greenleaf. Huber Greenleaf is our garden master. So Huber Greenleaf is a thin, tan man with a slight limp. Fred Huber, you tell me if this is too close to home. Here's the garden master, so we're going to put in garden master here. So Huber is the garden master that is fertilizing. Fertilizing. It's fertilizing. What do we want to do here? new seedlings in large black shallow trays. I worked in a nursery for a while, so I'm pretty familiar with that one. It is a brain dead job, that one. I'll tell you that now. You can do it with your eyes closed, and you can do it fast. And unfortunately, it's very easy to wind up talking too much and get told off by the boss. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, so Huber has been hiding overspending on the garden and is very nervous. There we go. There is our 3-sentence NPC. Done. Oh, you want it to change? You want to change it up? Gathering grapes from his special special fizzy drink, fizzy wine. Okay, we can do that. Okay. Is gathering you a red wine or a green wine? Red wine or white wine? Green. Grapes for his special vintage wine. There we go. Done. Dun dun dun. Kenneth Heller. Lanky man. Where did we get Kenneth Heller from? No, man with red hair. Okay, so I see what we're doing. We're going back to Kenneth. Dwarf cook. Is white. White wine. For his special white. Vintage wine. Okay, cool. Nice. Let's see. I can see there's a couple of ideas going in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over, grab the idea that you guys had. Oh, sorry people. I keep forgetting to switch back and forth so you can actually see what I'm typing in as I go. It would be so much easier if this office was significantly bigger and I could actually fit a lot of screens in here, but there's no space for nothing. Anyway, one big screen is the best I can do. So we've got Fred Huber. I've got that entry in. That is done. We've got Jasper Wilder. Oh, so we did have a Jasper. I thought somebody was just taking the piss. I might have to go back and find Jasper now. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, let's see if I can find Jasper. My. Greenery, proper druid, the green mask, take grapes, fizzy drink. We've got a description for Kenneth, which is great. Marshall Space Flight Center, Huntsville, Alabama. Okay. Oh, the captain of the guards. Okay, all right. So I've got to find Jasper. Here we go. Guards and bedroom. So we're not going to put in a guard in the bedroom. I'm going to take Jasper and we're going to clean that up a little bit because Jasper's been written to be a little bit on the odd side. We're not going to do that. But I will just highlight that as something we can work on a little bit later. And there was another one. I needed to grab Kenneth because somebody had started writing something about Kenneth. Fine. Now you don't touch that one. You don't have to touch anything. Okay. All right. Kenneth. So I've got to just find Kenneth, who is down here somewhere. Kenneth Groom. Did I have Kenneth Groom even done? I think I might have even have Kenneth Groom done. Kennels. Where are the kennels? Ah, here we go. Here we go. Kenneth Heller. We've got all sorts of names going on here, but we do have a description of him. Okay. All right, so there's dwarf cook. Do we have a dwarf? Who's the dwarf cook? I'm not even sure where this dwarf cook is from, mate. I'm not even. Do you know, when I agreed that I should do this, I didn't realize just how difficult it was going to be to try to do it in a live stream. I thought it's better for me to just do it on my own. I'm going to make it clear now. It is definitely something I should have done on my own. But at least we've had a few examples of how to go about doing 3-sentence NPC. At least that's something that's come out of this. Doing this in a live stream is much more difficult than I thought. Anyway, so I've taken that note down. I'm going to take down whatever other notes that I have to pull out before I lose my time. Okay, this is where we got to stop because I've got to go to work. Unfortunately, I will show you the document, okay, and give you a basic update. It is not finished, Jasper. I know you wanted me to finish this, but it ain't going to happen. Not in a live stream. It's going to be one of those things that I wind up sitting down in my holidays and just chopping away bit by bit until it's done. I think that's the only way this is going to happen and finish. So, Castle Adventure. We had a lot of NPCs we did actually get built. A lot of people came up with great ideas. Okay, right now we have Eric Hoover as an NPC. We have Sky Evendale. She's done. Willow Run we'll do later. Don't worry about that. We've started the process of doing Gerbo. Gerbo's mostly done. Okay. Tania Honeycut. I think there are notes down the bottom for Tania. So I'll get back to that. But we've gone with the formula that I've been putting forward that was suggested by Jasper. And I think he's right. I think the 3-sentence structure, 3-sentence NPC is great. You go with your first name, second name. You go with kind of what race or what they look like, something that makes them stand out. Go with what they're doing right now, okay, and then their motivation. And the good thing about their motivation, it will help feed what their personality trait might be to a certain extent. Their motivation, what sort of drives them in the world. So those 3 things are really the absolute essentials that you would need. Okay, I suppose you could say personality trait, but whatever they're doing right now probably feeds into the motivation anyway. Okay, so that's one thing. We've done Huber Greenleaf. We've got that character sorted out. We'll come back and I'll deal with Jasper some other time. Rodney has been done, the horse master. So Rodney has now got his information. Okay. Moving down here, we've got Lenny Philander, which started the process, but I haven't finished. He's a bit unfinished to go. That's why he's all highlighted. Moving down here, we have a bunch of information on a character which I can barely pronounce. We'll see how this goes. A little bit of information, but not a lot. We have done, where is it? We've got Annie Gross, partially completed, but not completely. So we've got 3 sentences there that are trying to do exactly what we were asking for, but it's not done yet. So I'll come back. Kenneth is partly done as well, not quite in three sentences, but almost. Willie One Toe Luther, lanky man, I don't think that's the right sardonic. I think it's something else. We haven't really got what he's doing right now, which I hate to think, but we'll come back to that, and we'll get his motivation sorted out a little bit later. And then, of course, there's a bunch of notes here that I've got to try to pull together. Some of it is related to the NPCs that are here and some are not. But you can see the process. The process being is name, race, appearance, first sentence. You can do that in one sentence. What are they doing right now when the players come against, player characters come up against them or come across them? And what is their motivation in the adventure? What are they motivated by in the world or even with the players? That's what we're doing. And that's really the extent of what you need essentially to start off with. And you should be right. And I think that's probably the best way to go. There it is. Okay, we did some of them, not all of them. I will get back to it some of the time. Yes, I'm probably going to spend a lot of time working my way through each one with a toolbox. A toolbox that I've already ported out. I've presented every single thing that I use as a toolbox, people, to you today. And if you have your own things for using as a toolbox, great. So have you heard of the 3-sentence non-player character? No, 52%. It was a new thing for me as well. Yes, 21%. Interesting. Not sure, 21%. Just watching, 5% out of 19 votes. It's very interesting. I'm very curious as to those people who marked down yes to 21% have heard of the 3-sentence non-player character. I'm very curious as to where you got that information from. I'm only been made aware of it recently. I still think it's a very smart way to go. I really like it. It works as far as I'm concerned. And workable tools are tools that you keep, right? That's my approach, is like, if it works, then use it. Anyway, I'm out of time. I've got to go to work. I will not be live streaming tomorrow. Sorry, people. I need to take a quick break, and I'm getting tired as I lead up to my holidays, and I'm struggling to keep going with all of this, so I'm taking a break. I will be back in 2 days to talk about other stuff. Like, literally, I'll talk about other stuff in about 2 days. Okay, so just hang out for that. Wait for that. It's coming. Should be interesting discussion. News, our role-playing tips newsletter number 575A. Okay, interesting. Okay. So, look, thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. Hopefully it was useful to you. Hopefully it was helpful. We did demonstrate the process as much as we possibly could. Huge thank you to everybody who took part in the poll. I do appreciate it. I want to thank all of my subscribers. I want to thank Jasper for suggesting this, which was a good test run to show you how to do the 3-sentence NPC. I think it was definitely, we did at least do some of it, and we adjusted some that weren't quite there, which is great too. I want to thank everybody, particularly in chat. So Jasper AK, Fred Huber, who's a patron, so is Jasper, Jean Sosby, which I think might be a patron as well, but I can't remember. There's so many. Punchy245, thank you for showing up. And Pale Rider, of course. Kevin Scott 76. Oscar Gross, of course, because I've used your name today, didn't I? I've incorporated it into one of the NPCs. You're now one of the NPCs in this castle. The Dungeon Minister, thank you, Dungeon Minister, for showing up. I do appreciate your you jumping in. That was fun. Nice to see you. I've got to make sure I send you an invite to a Back Me game, because we're playing shortly and I haven't done it. So I know I need to do it. Steve C, thank you for hanging out with us today as well and sharing your ideas. Nacho Man, who's been eating his lunch, has probably gone back to work by now. And if there's anybody that I missed that I didn't mention, I do apologize. It was not my intention to forget you. Ryan Andrews, of course. Ryan Andrews, who was here as well. And yeah, I'm done. My brain is gone. So look, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. Whew. And no. We don't have to do that. Until next time,